this is our Chapter 2 activity, and I wanted to talk it through with you a little. Percentiles, quartiles, and box plots. So, this is a fun example of people's income from 2020, and we decided to break this data down by ages. So for people who are age 25, the 25th percentile income is $20,000. And what this means is that 25% of 25-year-olds make less than $20,000. If we jump to the next column, the 50th percentile, this means that 50% of 25-year-olds make less than $34,000. And 50% of 25-year-olds make more than $34,000, which makes this the median. This is the median income for that age group. I was also going to say that the 75th percentile is the income that's higher than 75% of people and lower than 25% of people. And finally, why did I not do the 100th percentile? I'm not sure. I wasn't able to locate that information, and they wouldn't give me the richest income, or maybe it's depressing information and we don't want to know that. So 99th percentile, if you make $180,000, you're making more than 99% of 25-year-olds. So, and then we can repeat this process for the other age groups, and you can see that it goes up for 45-year-olds. But interestingly, the 25th percentile went up a little bit, the 99th percentile went up dramatically, and these went up fairly significantly as well. When we draw the box plots, we're going to get a visual of this data. Another quick piece of information, that the 25th percentile is also known as the first quartile. The 50th percentile is known as the median, or we could call it Q2. 75th percentile is Q3. And we did not have a minimum or a maximum, but here I told you, draw the box plots, use 0 for the minimum income. That seems like a reasonable assumption. Use the 99th percentile instead of the maximum income. Oh, and I decided to do this to keep things manageable so that we wouldn't have such ginormous numbers down here on our graph. And I've provided the scale for you. So let me see if I can scroll this up. Okay, so we need this information to reference, but the first box plot has been drawn for you. So here's the 25th percentile. Here's the median income. And here is the 75th percentile. So even though this isn't very far over, there's actually 75% of people in this range. 75% of 25-year-olds. And over here, even though it's a really wide spread, there are 25% of people in that range. Sometimes we say it's the richest 25% of the 25-year-olds. Okay, so we can go ahead and use the numbers above to draw the next two box plots. And I'm going to use the same scale. I'll switch colors here. So for 35-year-olds, We'll use 0 for the minimum, 28,000, and I'm just guesstimating that location, 50,000, 79,000. Oh my goodness, 393,000 is off the page. There's 200,000. There's 100,000. So I need to go almost, I'll just maybe put it right at the edge of the page. And then I draw my box, and this is the middle 50%, and the whiskers go to the min and the max. Let me see if I drew anything else on my answer key here. I just had a little note that said that 393,000 is off the page. So we could make a little note that it really goes further than what I was able to show. And then for age 45, minimum 0, 30,000, 54,000, 94,000. There's my box. And then again, we are way off the page on that end, but there's our box plot. Okay, so let's look at the questions below. The 75th percentile for age 25, okay, we're talking about that, is close to what percentile for age 35? Well, it's close to the median for age 35. And what was the median for age 45? Not that different. So the 75th percentile for age 25 is really closer to the median for age 35 and 45. Still getting the hang of this thing. Okay, so the median or 50th percentile. And what does this mean? Well, a wealthy 25-year-old is making what a typical 35 or 45-year-old person is making. That's what comes to mind when I read that right now. What percent of 25-year-olds have an income above $52,000? This is the 75th percentile. So 25% make higher than that, and 75% make lower than that. Are there more 25-year-olds making above 52K or more below 20K? That is a trick question. 25% make lower than this, and 25% are above 52,000, so it's the same number. However, for the 25-year-olds, up here, there's a lot more range or spread in the data. There's a lot more variation in the income of the top 25% richest. And the poorest 25% are all in a pretty small window, but there are still 25% of people in that range. And I'm getting stuck again. There we go. There we go. Why is the whisker between 52K and 180K so long? So I'm trying to deal with this misconception people have that if there's a long whisker, it somehow indicates a lot of people. And it's not. It just indicates a lot more variation or spread. It's a larger range of incomes. No, it indicates more variation in incomes. Compare the interquartile income ranges for all 3 ages. What does this suggest? So for the 25-year-olds, the IQR is Q3 minus Q1, and that was 52K minus 20K, and that is 32,000. For the age 35 people, I worked out the IQR the same way, take the Q3 minus the Q1, and I wound up with 51K. So there's a lot more range in the middle 50% of the data. And when I worked out the IQR for age 45, I got $64,000. So as you get older, the spread in income keeps increasing. The older you get, the more variation in income there is.